We just planned to watch Space Amoeba that night, and then Adam brought up another little movie that I was not ever aware of, called The X from Outer Space. And let me tell you, The X of Outer Space is truly out of this world, let me tell you. Oh my god, that was, well, I learned of a new favorite kaiju in Guilala. Guilala does way more than Gazora.
Guilala is the most unintentionally cute kaiju I can think of.
He's adorable.
He's
Look
adorable.
At him.
I remember when I told you the name of the substance that kills him.
I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you. I thought you were joking. I'm like, is really?
Yeah, Gilalalanium. Guilala is not a pleasing thing to say. But then you also have the spaceship, the AAB Gamma, which is also...
Oh yeah, I know the AAB Gamma. Oh, let me tell you. AAB Gamma. Reporting in AAB Gamma. Like, every fucking scene.
AAB Gamma. AAB Gamma.
AB Gamma.
AB Gamma.
AB Gamma.
Adam, you just said something off. You just said something like, there's something I want to talk, and I guess we're going to go into it right now, is there's a point in this fucking movie. It is Guilala destroying the city. The main base trying to contact the people who are in space. The people who are in space dicking around in space trying to figure out whatever the fuck they're doing. Rinse and repeat those three structures for like 5 times in a row. And when we watched it, I remember I was going crazy. I was just like, this is still happening. This is just the same thing over and over again. Like, it's
over and over. Rinse and repeat.
The solution to anything in this movie, we gotta go to space.
We gotta go to the moon.
We don't even they don't even reach Mars. Like,
objective.
In the beginning, they're trying to go to Mars. They never reach Mars.
Their objective is to reach Mars. They don't even get close to reaching Mars.
They never do.
So what their main scientist dude gets sick, right?
Okay.
We gotta take him to the moon. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because there's a moon base. There's a moon base.
So they take him to the moon. He's fine. But no, we can't just put him on the ship anyways. We gotta now put this jerk of a doctor on that just wants to go home to have sex with his wife.
Yeah, I just all go home, fuck my wife.
And he causes all sorts of problems on the AAB Gamma. What happens is they come across Grandma's flying pie.
It looks like a literal tinfoil pie tray. I would just go to the store to buy to make a pie.
So what do? They contact the moon base. And the moon base has to send them nuclear fuel. I'm just picturing the people at ground control be like, you guys were just fucking here.
Well, you gotta understand, it's pretty established in this movie that space travel is fucking easy. They have a map, Adam. They have a map of space. Man, space ain't that big.
I just wanted to see a little disclaimer in the upper right-hand corner of that map that says map not to scale.
I know we're still kind of talking about them, but I don't want to just branch off briefly because we're talking about maps of all things right now. The map where they're tracking Guilala's path, how they have a custom-made Guilala sticker to place where he's gone. How did you get this made so quick?
But I remember when the monster starts attacking, I remember looking over, I was chuckling again. Because I knew it was coming. And this is one of those movies that I watched so much as a kid, like I know it shot for shot, line for line.
Yeah.
Like I just loved this movie as a kid. We gotta figure out how to find Gilalalanium and have it stop Guilala. So what have we got to do? We're gonna go back to the moon, of course.
Go back to the moon, baby. Someone tunes into this stream and they're like, oh, finally, someone's gonna talk about the X from outer space, and it's just us fucking choking on our own fucking saliva because they're just fucking like laughing and goofing on this movie.
I just can't get over how utterly incompetent.
Oh, you want to go into their competency?
Everyone in this movie is the most incompetent human being.
You want to go into that? Fine, I'll go into that. Fuck it. You're an astronaut, and something is latched. A spore is latched onto your plane. Your ship. I'm sorry.
This UFO just splooged all over your ship.
You get a sample of it, and you encase it, and you go back down, and that's like, you guys fucking did it. You fucking killed it. They're all standing there proud, all pompous in the middle of their fucking laboratory with the thing in the tube. No one watching it. So what do? You might have discovered a new creature. You're like, what do you do with that?
Well, as a scientist,
yeah,
my natural inclination is to get shit-faced.
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, God. Leave it in the room by itself.
Lucas, you gotta establish something here. They did just choose to drink cocktails and champagne after finding the UFO, after completely failing their mission in every way, shape, and form. But on the moon, they decided to do the same damn thing. Like, oh my God, my doctor's sick. Maybe you guys should look at him. Is he okay? Is he no, let's just drink some shit. And then it's like they have important. Okay, so there is this one girl. I want to mention this. She's so pissed at Captain Sano for even remotely showing interest in the blonde girl.
Yeah.
That they have important information to relay to the ship that it's coming in too fast. It needs to slow down. And she says, "You can tell him yourself."
でもそれは
わかりました。地球へ連絡してみましょう。
Truly, priorities are in order with this crew.
The professionalism of this goddamn moon base is through the roof.
Doubling back to them bringing the spore that makes Guilala, they just fucking leave it alone. Just leave it in the middle of their fucking laboratory to go fucking drink and get shit-faced. And like, no shit, it broke out.
I remember laughing so hard because of the hard cut. In the movie, it like goes in on like the egg and it's blinking. Hard cut, glass of champagne.
Yeah, they didn't complete their mission.
They failed miserably at their mission.
They just brought back something that could infect the entire human race, cause a virus we can't heal, and everyone dies. Or in this case, it was Guilala. It becomes a kaiju.
Do you agree that it feels like two movies just smashed together?
Yes. I think it becomes a completely different movie when Guilala gets into.
Yeah, 100%. Other than the moon base, the moon base ties it all together. Yeah. It's a funnier character than
all the space stuff is very like space opera and very kind of that stuff. It felt like something you would see as like an example of like really like golden age sci-fi art, where it's like the sci-fi. I think I mentioned this too, like art of like where it's like these designs just make no sense. They're just really like high fantasy.
Ray gun gothic.
Yeah.
They look very ray gun gothic.
I like that about it. I thought that was really cool, like visually.
I thought the design of the AAB Gamma looked cool.
I'm also just a sucker for like really kind of fantasy sci-fi stuff like that, where it's just like I like highly detailed sci-fi stuff too, where you can tell like, oh, these ports are like exhaust ports. But I really also just like, it's like, look at this ray gun that has like fucking 3 prongs coming off of it. No idea what it does. It really does feel like two different movies, because once Guilala gets introduced, it becomes your kind of typical like kaiju affair, but they still need to keep like that whole space opera kind of theme with it,
yeah. And to give some background, apparently Guilala was named and designed by a kid. They held the competition.
Yeah, and I remember you told me that, and I was like, yeah, I can see it.
I have a feeling that what happened was they had a space opera idea, kind of fell through. Now we've got this giant monster thing. Let's just reuse some of the ideas from that space opera and use it within the X from Outer Space as a story as a whole. Because it really does feel like two films mixed into one.
Hey, in their defense, I remember you told me you did well. Like,
this movie did well.
Yeah, it did well.
It's a big cult classic. Yeah, it did really well on home video. This was one of the films that got released by like Orion VHS, was the X from Outer Space, and it was quite popular. And we haven't even talked about the monster yet.
He needs his own segment.
Do you want to talk about this amazing love triangle?
You say this amazing love triangle, and like I was like shell-shocked at the end when that was even a thing. Because it's like Guilala is taken care of, they're all like on a cliff, and the one girl and the one guy go off, and the one guy's like,
Lisa, 佐野に伝えたかい? 君の本当の気持ちを.
What? I was sidelined by it. I really didn't even see that at all in the movie prior. I didn't take that at all.
Well, what is the relationship between her and that other guy?
I don't know.
Is that her father? What is that? Her brother?
I know there was like the stuff like on the moon base with the two girls, but at the same time, that didn't feel like that to me. It just felt like two people interacting with one another. It didn't feel like there was anything more besides that.
Michiko, the Japanese girl that does end up getting with Captain Sano and Anne, the most spiteful bitch. In the ending, it's so ham-fisted. She goes, "I think the monster taught me that."
Yeah.
How?
Please, can I have a little more
context?
About that? No.
And then it ends admittedly with a lovely little ballad. I think the end ballad is actually a very lovely song. Right from the opening, when you heard the song, you were laughing. You're about to hear the greatest thing.
Because the track sounded exactly what I envisioned in my head. I'm just like, yep, this would be the music. This would be the music for this movie.
It was.
It was great.
Well, the soundtrack for this movie in general is...
Yeah, it's good. Like,
well, I don't think it's good at all. I think it's good in how it does not fit the movie at all.
Yeah, I fired that off.
It is jazz. And I literally think Guilala's theme itself is just two notes. Over and 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 over again. What a score.
Did I know what music was before this soundtrack?
No.
Oh, thank you.
No, you did not. Not until you've seen the X from Outer Space.
I did actually like the soundtrack to this movie.
I do too. Like in a weird way. I do. Like like even Guilala's theme. I'm just kind of like, yeah. It's weird. It's like the drums, freestyle drums and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There was one point where I was just dying, where it's like it cuts to the monster walking forward. His roar just goes. Like he's got to hawk up a hairball. I remember you saw him on the main menu, and you're like, I love it.
I do. I genuinely do.
I do too.
A little weird. I can't front. Like the way he has fucking like dummy thick hips is like weird. His like chest has like a spine that's like not really like the Gigan thing, but it kind of just comes out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and like he's kind of misshapen. He looks like he's a little like he got like some Popeye arm, except like instead of having the buff forearm, it's the fucking upper part.
He's got pinchers on his tail that everybody forgets that he has.
Yeah. You had to point that out to me. I didn't even notice.
Why didn't they use them? That would have been cool. Like he picks up a boat with his tail and he swings it. That'd be cool.
And to me, the highlight of Guilala and the reason he works so well for me is the head, because the head is such sci-fi nonsense. He's got big red bug eyes. He's got like the Party City antennas. On top of that, his head is shaped like it almost looks like a fucking spaceship, and he has a bird beak. This is like everything you could love.
Oh, you forgot the tuba on the top of his head too. He's got like a little horn.
Oh, you're right.
It literally looks like an instrument. You don't forget him.
No.
I've seen plenty of giant monster movies where you forget the design of the monster after you're done watching it. Guilala has always stayed there.
Everyone has always criticized, like MonsterVerse for like the Mudos and like the monsters introduced in like King of the Monsters. No, I remember Guilala.
Here's the thing with the X from Outer Space and why, and one reason why I genuinely love it. And not just because it's so bad. You know, I genuinely love this movie, and it's because I can never forget it. Like, it is so bizarre, and only in Japan could such an audacious film be made, where it's just so non-compromising on its ridiculousness. And it never stops from beginning to end.
Non-compromising is a good phrase for this movie. It's not a great movie. I don't think it's a good movie. However, it's not a great movie. And there's baffling choices. Absolutely baffling choices in storytelling. Hey, I had fun. Like, this was a fun one.
This was a lot of fun.
I really can understand why this movie did well, too. Like, I can see it.
You know, not many movies can I sit down and say, yo, and be, like, almost out of breath by the end of it. Just because of how much I'm giggling and laughing throughout the whole thing. I recommend this movie to anyone. You got to see it to believe it.
anyone who likes sci-fi, I just recommend it because I think it's fun. I think it's a fun example
It's pinnacle
of campy
60s sci-fi. There's a lot of people who say this movie's boring.
I cannot agree with
I
that.
cannot
Like,
agree because I
can't.
go, I don't think this movie's boring at all because the characters alone being so incompetent and literally everything they do makes this movie worth it to me.
There's just so much going on in general, both like with the characters, the music, the visuals. It's like there's so much actually going on here that's like, I can't find it boring. Oh man.
I just feel like I got like laid.
Oh my god, Adam.
It's like after you watch the Extra Outer Space, you just fall back and you make go, wow.